Good morning, Morris. How the hell
Good
are you?
morning, everyone.
Good morning, everybody. Hope everybody's doing well. We're glad you're here for the live growth mode on Monday morning. Going to get you up and get you started, get you going. Hi, Donnie and Kevin and Keith.
Good
morning, bud.
We'll get this link figured out here for too long. They changed the link on me last minute here, so we got it to you. But we've got a bunch of people on LinkedIn and Facebook who are tuning in. So Logan, good to see you. Guys, if you'll try and monitor us live on the different platforms so we can make sure we're interacting and commenting and talking to everybody, that'd be awesome. So how was everybody's weekend?
Good. I didn't break anything or fall or do any of that kind of crap. So I feel really, really good.
Extremely hot. I don't know what it was like for you, Morris, but good Lord, it was like 103, 104 degrees yesterday.
Welcome to Texas, kid.
Yeah.
Keith, I'm sorry. What's your name again?
It was pretty bad. I bought this damn silver insulation to go to the top of my shed for my quail. And as I put it up, and it was just hot. So in my quail room, I've got 2 air conditioners going, 2 ceiling fans, and 2 floor fans. I've insulated this thing and done everything I can think of. And I just bought this silver insulation. And I sent my dad and brothers the image yesterday. Where this silver insulation isn't, my roof is 140 degrees. When you put it where the silver is, it drops down to 103. That's how much its radiant barrier is going. But I lost a freaking quail yesterday because of this damn heat. So it's insane.
I kind of thought maybe those quail would like the sauna, right?
Yeah, right.
Put a little water in there, create some smoke. Awesome.
some mushrooms, some herbs, and it becomes pre-braised for you.
If I was planning on eating them now, maybe we just roast them that way. I mean, but
yeah, if you wanted a McNugget.
Oh, Lord have mercy. What's the difference between a quail and a dove?
Well,
really different species.
The way you spell it.
One's a trash word.
That's exactly what I would have thought, Keith. That was about it.
One's a trash bird, and one is but they're 2 different. It's like asking what's the difference between an eagle and an owl.
Actually,
all right.
The scientific explanation is one is released at weddings and the other one is eaten at weddings.
that is also true.
Well, we have doves all over our backyard, and one of them decided to build a nest inside the enclosure over our patio, and she was there for, I guess, a week or 2, and then suddenly disappeared. I took the nest down Saturday because it wasn't happening. All we were getting prior to that was piles of dove poop all over the patio. So got up in the nest. There was nothing there. She wasn't there, so I took it down. I'm learning about doves.
It was a whopping 80 degrees here this weekend.
Yeah, that's a long middle finger for you, sir.
Yeah, and we got rain, so we were all really happy.
Remember how I taught Morris last week to do this? Yeah.
So I did Nicole, Julia, Casey, Kim, freaking Jeff's on there. Paul Search says dubs are pigeons with class.
Yeah. All right. That's the best answer, Paul.
Even though I had drill, I did a thing this weekend.
And what's that?
I recorded my first solo podcast episode.
Oh, and you shaved.
And I shaved. Yes, that's required now on these weekends. But yeah, so I recorded since you did a couple last week. I did one. So I'm interested to see how it actually goes.
What'd you do the episode on?
Email and the horrible email that's coming into my inbox and how not to be like them.
Nice.
Nice.
I bet you have plenty of examples.
Oh yeah, we went through a bunch. So
too funny.
I'm picking fights now on LinkedIn, and I'm just getting sick of this crap. And happened to me this morning. A guy that I thought looked really cool, had a great profile, sent me a connection request, a really nice introduction, like 2 sentences about getting to know you and your business and things like that. I'm like, all right, that's the right way to do it. And then this morning he did it. and just gave me a 6-paragraph pitch. And I'm like, man, so I replied back. I'm like, I had high hopes for this conversation that you weren't going to pitch slap me, but here we are.
Dude, I got to tell you, the funniest thing that happened with Keith is I had somebody actually email the company saying that Keith is highly unprofessional and that he's a bad representation of our company, which I already knew, right?
Yeah, that's normal.
And it was really funny. So I replied and said, well, tell me what happened. I'd want to know more. And the guy's like, well, now that I realize he's your brother, I don't want to talk smack. And I'm like, we still want to run in a company. This is business. Tell me what happened. And so I sent Keith the message. I'm like, hey, who the hell did you piss off? And then he sent me the interaction. And this motherfucker pitch slapped the hell out of him. I mean, it was so bad about being on this TV show.
Well, the funny part was he said at the beginning, he goes, hey, don't answer me yet because this is not a sales tactic. However, would you consider hiring me for this?
And Keith replied, wait, I thought you said this wasn't a pitch. And the guy's like, I'm not pitching. He's like, wait. It was so bad. It was so bad.
Might as well sign up for the Dodgers. You're pitching so bad. God.
Oh, people crack me up, man. They just crack me up. So
Donnie, teach us something.
Absolutely. So we're going to add in here. One of the requests that we had is more teachings and learning. So each week I'm going to come in and teach something a little bit different. So today I want to talk about a huge rant that I keep finding out that people just don't understand. And it's really, really simple. Networking is for introductions, not referrals. Referrals should come from your client base. Okay. If you're networking for referrals, it's most likely because you're broke and you need them. Right. And the difference being an introduction is two good people should just go meet and hang out. Right. There's probably a collaboration happening. There's probably some good things that are happening there. A referral is two good people should meet, but there's a sales conversation attached to it. So it sounds like, Bob meets Sally. Sally, Bob's looking for your services. I've told her all about you, and she's really excited. He's really excited to sit down and talk with you, right? There's sales attached to it. If you're going to networking to look for those type of referrals, it's because you don't know how to sell, how to grow your business, and you desperately need those. And if you're networking around a lot of people, that's all they talk about is referrals. That'll tell you the type of people that you're currently hanging with, right? So what I want you to think about is you should be delivering so much value to your clientele that they want to see you win, and they are giving you referrals. Like every time a client looks at you and says, hey, thank you for what you did. I love working with you, and the likes, that is an indicator they really want to help you more, and they're likely to give you a referral, right? So every time you get a thank you from a client, you need to say, man, that's awesome. I love helping you out. I love working with you. I'd really love to work with people who are just like you or as cool as you. Who do you know that I should know that can get the conversation going? But so many people are so scared to go talk to their own clients about referrals that they freaking are out there trying to get referrals off their network, which means they try and sell everybody, right? Networking is about introductions, not referrals. Like you should sit across from people and have these quick conversations and open doors, like virtual coffees. And you guys can jump in here on this point because I know we all ranted about this last week, but virtual coffee should last about 15 minutes. And I don't care who you're meeting and where you're meeting people, how you're getting together, but about 15 minutes is all you need in a virtual coffee. Because here's the deal. Anything that lasts for like an hour long of two people getting to know you, somebody's trying to sell somebody something, right? Let's be honest, right? This whole concept that you got to get together and get to know each other, and that you've got to freaking, I don't know, talk about when you were born and your life story and all this crap is just absolutely pointless. We as a society have a pretty freaking good read on people. Like we know if they're an asshole, we know if they're, gonna freaking try and sell us their stuff. We read people really, really well. If you run into those type of people, freaking, then don't make introductions. But everybody else, you can make an introduction. It's really that simple. I mean, every conversation I get in, my goal is to make 2, 3, 4, 5 introductions for that individual. And the reason I do that is because that's what makes the world move forward. That's how we grow our businesses, is by adding more people to our freaking Rolodex, to our contacts. So when you sit across from somebody, 15 minutes all in, you should literally ask the person one particular question to get this whole ball rolling. And that question you should ask them is, what industry sends them the most referrals? And if you ask them that particular question, they're going to give you one or two responses. They're going to say, well, I don't know. I kind of sell for everybody, right? When they say that, I'm instantly go, okay, what's the last 3 deals you closed? What industries were they in? I'm going to pin them down. Or they're going to tell you very specifically which industry, is their go-to industry, and which industry is going to freaking be the one that sends them the most referrals. When you do that, as soon as they tell you what that industry is, if you can't pull them out like I do off the top of my head, then go to LinkedIn, type in that industry in people search, and start making introductions. I had a gal last week who is coming into the Success Champions family, joining one of the peer groups, sent me a connection request, told me that she was signing up. And my first question was, what industry sends you the most referrals? And she came back and said, well, I'm moving everything over to the B2B game. I've been doing a lot of B2C. She goes, so I don't know exactly who it is, but here's an idea of some of the things. And so we went back and forth, and I finally said, who else is selling to that, consumer? And she said, marketing companies and social media companies. And I just said, stand by. And, I went quickly over and I just started making introductions, and she replied back, question mark, question mark, question mark. She didn't know I was making all these introductions for her on LinkedIn. And I made about 6 introductions to other people inside of Success Champions. And she came back and it just said, holy F. And I said, have fun. Right. And she goes, is there anything I need to do for you? And I said, just win. Right. Tell more people about Success Champions, keep growing and keep going. And literally, she was just blown away that we would move fast. Logan says, how do you interact with people who you keep seeing at networking events? If they were a horrible meeting, you just know you probably don't want to work with them, but you want to keep it as a positive possible. Just say hi, walk to someone else in the room, or let them come to you. Logan, I'm going to teach you a couple of my favorite things in the world. Number 1, learn the fake wave. The fake wave is one of my favorite tricks of all time. When somebody that you don't want to do business with walks up to you, literally look over their shoulder and go, oh, dude, great seeing you. I see a friend I need to catch up with. And you're in and you're out and you move on. My second trick is called the dump and run. And the dump and run is great. You find somebody else who annoys the pure living piss out of you, and you know exactly where they are in the room. And when that person walks up to you, say, hey, great meeting you. I've been meaning to introduce you to somebody. And you take them over to that other person and you put them together and you walk away and you get out.
That's why we bring Keith to events with us.
Right. You've just got to move fast. So if you're seeing a lot of the same people at the same freaking networking events, it's time to change the rooms. So one thing I want you guys to think about, if you're networking out in places, CEOs go to breakfast, middle management goes to lunch, and salespeople go to happy hours, right? So if you're finding yourself running into a lot of the same people, odds are you're doing a lot of after hours. So I would tell you to go find the breakfasts. If you have a major university in your area, I promise you there's some sort of CEO, marketing, executive presentations go on. Find their calendar and start going to those. If you're doing a lot of after hours, go find associations and go find their events. Go find conferences, trade shows, change up the rooms, because if you're seeing a lot of the same people, you're going to continue to run into a lot of desperate people that need networking to grow their business. They don't understand that networking is a portion of their overall business development strategy. They think it's the entirety of it, right? And networking as a tool is one part of 3 parts of your entire growth strategy. You need to be networking, you need to be doing cold outreach, and you need to be putting out original thought, which I call hand-raising activities, where you can put out original thought. People can lean in and say, hey, I want to learn more about what you do. If you're only networking, you will lose. But yeah, the freaking fake wave and the dump and run are my favorite tactics just to get away from people. And that's why you need a wingman if you're out networking. Go ahead, Morris.
Just curious, Donnie, if I'm going to make an introduction, what do I say in that introduction? I've had some that were like, this is Morris and this is what he does. And he's a great guy. And he goes on and on and on and on and on. And I've had others that are, Morris, here's Keith. You need to meet Keith. Keith, here's Morris. Have a great day. How should I do that?
So I love the question, and I'm going to let everybody kind of chime in on this one because the way I do it is not the way everybody should do it. Okay. The way I do it, and that's why I need anybody else to chime in, is I'm that guy that says, hey, Morris, meet Keith. Keith, meet Morris. Go grab a virtual coffee, right? I'm quick in, quick out. But I've also built my personal brand that if people know that if I'm putting my name in front of it, there's a damn good reason two people should meet. Kevin, what's your way?
So I'm very situational. So I met with someone last week that does custom software development, and I'm introducing them to someone who may potentially be a prospect down the road. So I had to give a little bit more upfront info for that. If it's a collaborative thing where, hey, you need to talk to this person, I now trend more towards how Donnie does it, just doing the quick LinkedIn connection saying, hey, Donnie, you need to meet Morris. Just had a really badass meeting. I think you guys could do some cool stuff together. Let me know how the meeting goes. And I'll do that. But I'm very situational now and making sure that, because I want to make sure that the person I'm introducing gets the right experience, but then the person I'm introducing them to isn't also blindsided if I know there's going to be a potential sales conversation at some point. So I kind of do a little bit of both now.
Nice. Keith, what do you do?
I've completely gotten rid of the whole long email introduction that I used to do. And I got in a huge fight with someone on Facebook in a sales group last week who was telling people you have to have a scripted invite to give to people so they know how to talk
Get
about
the hell
you.
out of here.
I'm like, no, stop making it more complicated. And I may have did a post on LinkedIn about it last week too. But it was the founder of the group was like, well, this is what I teach. I'm like, well, then you're dumb. This is not how you should do it.
I've had 5 or 6 people over the last year or so send me like a long paragraph, like, if you're going to introduce me, can you please use this format? I'm like, absolutely not.
No.
Where am I going to save that for one? And how am I going to remember that that's your introduction? I'd have 2,700 introductions I'd have to file somewhere and keep straight.
Exactly. And that's what I said. You know, if everyone's doing this, I'm going to have a big list of these that I have to go look at whenever I'm going to make an introduction. And I'm never going to actually make an introduction because that's too much work.
Yeah, it's never going to happen. So I make 90% of my introductions on LinkedIn. One, because I want you guys to both be able to see each other's profile. And then I usually explain why I'm making the introduction, right? If I say, hey, Morris, go meet Kevin, he's actually looking for your services, right? Then you know it's a referral coming from me. If I tell you guys that, hey, you guys play in the same arena and you're both looking for each other, one of you is looking for each other, then you understand it's an introduction for me. So that's usually how I do it. But if you haven't connected with me on LinkedIn, then I will send an email connection every once in a while. But usually it's all done on LinkedIn.
Oh,
I prefer the Donnie. I prefer the Donnie approach when somebody's introducing me. I prefer it to be Morris, meet Kevin. Kevin, here's Morris. Y'all have a great day. Nobody else can present me the way I can, and I don't need you to present me. I need to present me.
I don't know who that was on LinkedIn, but it
Greg Roberts.
Greg Roberts, Gone with the Wind introductions.
What's that war book that's like 10 billion pages long?
War and Peace.
War and Peace,
right?
Yeah.
I don't need a War and Peace introduction.
Yeah.
Hey, that was great, you guys.
Yeah.
It's time now.
Everybody's cheering for me, Morris.
Huh?
Everybody's cheering for me.
Yeah, that's because you're so great, Keith, and what you do is so wonderful.
For Morris
and
now.
we love you so much. And,
Hey, listen, that's one of those War and Peace introductions. You got to stop.
Morning, Joe. So too funny. Where are we going from here?
podcast.
Very cool. Kevin, I got a bone to pick with you.
That I forgot to give you one this morning.
Yeah. So at like 6 o'clock in the morning, in the middle of freaking chores, all of a sudden the Asana notification pops up, and freaking it's like, oh, here, listen to this freaking podcast. How do you make introductions on LinkedIn? I always make you. Jeremy, just a really quick answer to this question is you go up and you just put both people in message when in the messenger inside of LinkedIn. And it'll send a message to both of them. So literally just go to LinkedIn, the message portion of LinkedIn, and put both their names in, type in so-and-so meet so-and-so, hit send, it sends it to both people.
It's also an easy way to get 1,000 or so new followers every single year.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. So, all right. So Force podcast review that I barely had time to listen to this morning. Kevin, you want to start off with the one that I sent you?
I'm just glad I got you a short one that should have been relatively easy for you to listen to.
It was 30 minutes.
That's short. So Donnie sent me one in here. I'm going to drop it into some chats. I'm on YouTube, so if someone else wants to do them on the other ones, that'd be awesome. So the episode I listened to was Building a Strategy Blueprint, Business Strategy by Stephen Coffrin. Actually, it was a really good. I liked the episode, and it went through a really long list of steps.
A really long list.
I was like, oh, sweet. There's gonna be like 4 things. It'll be super easy to remember. There were 10.
And the moron, he didn't put them in his show notes, so you could go and reference them. Like, what a missed opportunity.
So, not in the show notes. I'm gonna have to go back and listen to them again. But they're actually really good. It was the thing that sucked me in right away was when he started talking about the strategy blueprint. They're actually really good. It was. The thing that
somebody's playing it in the background
right away is when he started talking about
Kevin, you've got
on YouTube, so it's not me.
I don't have anything else pulled up.
I did. It was me. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, Morris. It's one demerit for you, Morris. The thing that sucked me in right away, though, when he talked about that the strategy blueprint isn't a thing that once it's done. It wasn't that it was strategy is an ongoing thing. I mean, it consistently has to be worked on and being upgraded and applied. And then I thought that was a really great way to start the conversation, because I honestly kind of thought strategy blueprint was kind of building out a process. And I'm like, sweet, this will be fun. Donnie gave me a process episode. Awesome. But it went through some really cool steps, starting with purpose, and then like our version of the champion's values. And the thing I loved with those was the putting an action verb at the front. So it wasn't a value. It wasn't like, we believe in this. It was seeking something or completing or doing. It was an actual action thing. But I actually really like this, and I'm going to have to go back and listen to it so I can actually write down all 13 steps.
Yeah, so I tried to write them down as we went through, and the first one was purpose. Then the second one was principles, your codes defined, strategic problems, what is keeping us from hitting that purpose, which I thought was a really cool way to look at it. So what's the mission? So like for Success Champions, trying to find and help as many people get to freedom as possible. What's keeping us from that was a really good thing I want to work through with the team. What's our struggle from getting there? And he talked a lot about having a shared vision with your clients and your company, your staff and the like, which I thought was really cool. And then he kind of went rapid fire, which was really hard to keep up with them. So I was really hoping for the transcription so I could go back. And the funny thing about that is he didn't really teach him. So I realized his entire podcast is a sales pitch. Because I went back and started looking at the rest of his episodes, and he's like, I'm going to give you, my clients, we go in depth with these, but I'm going to give you these for free. And he just listed them, right? He didn't go in and really explain the damn things. He was like, you can, be a client and learn all that stuff.
Yeah. And then even at the end, it's like, if you want more about this,
yeah. You can buy my shit, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But it was good.
What do you suggest then? I mean, let's take that for a half a second here. What do you guys suggest? I mean, I see a lot of folks say, hey, give it all away. Give it all away. Put all your stuff out there. Just give it all away. And if they really want to do business with you, they will. Other folks say, hey, be careful. Don't give away the diamonds.
Well, I'm 100% of the giveaway side of things. What you don't do is say, hey, I'm just going to give it all away, and then you can come buy my stuff.
And then don't. Yeah.
Right. You know, he gave a good list that I wish he would have went more in detail on. But it was 100%. Let me show you how smart I am. So you'll come buy my stuff.
There's 3 groups of people in the world when it comes to content. There's the DIYers who want all the information, they'll do it themselves. There is the done with you group where they want to work with you, but they want to do the work. They just need some guidance and some support. And then there's the DFY, the done for you group. And, you know, for all of them, you know, depending on what your product and service is, you need to understand which of those groups are your people. You know, I have no issue giving all the content away for free and all the info, because the DIYers are going to take it and run. Awesome. They're not my clients anyway. I don't care. I didn't lose anything by giving them that money. The done with you people and the done for you people are going to look at it and say, wow, that's really hard. I need Kevin's help with this little part. And so I can actually apply it, and then they come to me. And so, you know, giving the info doesn't mean that they're able to apply it with the same success.
Yeah,
so,
that's me. I mean, I'm always of let's give them all, because the people that are going to do it themselves are going to be a pain in the ass anyways, right? They're going to be high maintenance. You know, they just want your information and run. Cool, let them run. The people that see your expertise and talent, they'll pay for your service because they understand, and most likely there's something knowledge of some sort that they have that they've spent years learning and building, and they understand and respect somebody else's journey becoming an expert in whatever it is they're doing. They'll buy your services because they understand that need. So
thank you, guys. I appreciate that. I had a CEO one time who said, I don't care. Let's give our playbook to everybody. We'll give our playbook to Northwestern Mutual and to all the rest of the companies. I don't care. There's no way they can implement it and execute it as well as we can.
100%.
But now I believe him.
Yep. So Kevin gave me the podcast last minute, you know, right as I was feeding chickens and goats. So in between, you know, the goats yelling at me because it was breakfast time, and the chickens giving me hell, and the geese trying to chase me around the yard, he gave me one. I don't remember the name of it now. Hold on, I'll drop links that I
dropped it in YouTube. It is the Marketing Against the Grain podcast episode. I don't know what number episode it is, but it was how a $25 billion company uses AI to 300 times their marketing results. Episode 129.
So admittedly, I freaking did the best I could listening through this, and I did take some notes. It's something I'm actually fascinated to go back and listen to in a little bit more in depth, because they were talking about some fascinating AI shit. Admittedly, I would need somebody who's an AI probably expert to sit down with Kevin to figure out how to automate what they were doing. But they were basically taking AI and feeding it the emails from their prospects, matching it up next to their profiles that they had for them inside a HubSpot, comparing the two, having one AI reply, another AI looking at the reply, making it fucking better, and completely AI out these conversations. It was fucking insane. Right. I totally couldn't wrap my head around how they were doing it, because even the guy that was kind of interviewing the other guy was like, okay, explain to me exactly how you're doing that. You know, it was going, I was like, holy shit.
So I picked this one. I was like, oh, Donnie's going to be all over this, and this is going to make work for me. But I'm going to send it to him anyway. I know it was really interesting because the guest was the COO from Zapier. So they are an automation firm. He has developers who are literally just sitting back there and building the AI.
We're losing you, Kevin.
So he had
your max headroom.
Really?
Yeah. Now try it. Now try it.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Testing.
All right. Now I get you.
So I listened to this episode twice this morning, actually, because I wanted to figure out what they were doing. But they had 2 different things. One of them was someone opts into something. or sets up their first Zap in Zapier or joins the community, they have an AI agent who's in looking at what they built and building a custom document that's sent to them. They built AI builds it in about 15-minute images, layout, the whole thing on things that they could automate for their business based on the type of business they have, what they built already, and it sends them out this custom thing, which is really cool. The other one they did is what Donnie was talking about, where they'll set up an email box in Google, Zapier, whenever they are testing emails, they'll send it to that inbox. One AI agent will then grab that through a Zap, read it, critique it based on expectations of who it's going to be sent to. And then it's going to give feedback to the agent, the AI agent that wrote the damn
Yeah,
thing
it's insane.
on how
It's
to make
insane.
it better. And here's how to fix it.
Sounds pretty
It's
intense.
just nuts.
You
Well,
know,
before we go any further,
I went into Zapier. I'm like, is this a thing?
Keep AI is artificial intelligence. Just want to let you know.
Yeah, see, I'm not used to the artificial side of it. There, Morris. For me, it's just always been natural intelligence.
Well, yeah,
I don't
because
know
he
if it's
hangs out
AI.
with me, so he gets the real thing all the time.
Lord. No, but I mean, it was a good episode. There was one other thing that I thought was interesting. They talked about at the very beginning, and him and the two guys were kind of going at it a little bit, because one guy was like, AI is going to make everything the same. They're like, right now in this moment of time, you can use AI to differentiate yourself, but you're going to ask it to do things. But as the AI continues to tip, people are going to be like, create a unique website for me and the content to go in there. And everybody's doing that. So all the stuff for the moment is going to be okay. But in 5 years, it's all going to look the same, feel the same on everybody's website, because everybody's using AI to create all the stuff.
It's kind of like, and I kind of agreed with that concept. It's kind of like the whole idea of swipe files for email, where someone goes in and creates a campaign and says, here, for $97, you can use the same email campaign that I sold millions of dollars with. And then everyone applies that. And we see that in our LinkedIn and email inboxes all the time. It's like, all right, so I just got 7 LinkedIn messages that are exactly phrased the same thing. Obviously someone had a new program out. So I think that is true. Everyone's going to start utilizing the low hanging fruit and the cheap stuff so they can say they use AI. And what I loved that in that conversation they talked about is that the people who actually know what they're doing in the different industries and can apply creative thought and come up with new things are the ones who are really going to benefit from AI. And they're the ones who are going to stand out and not become a commoditized product. I thought that was really a good way to look at it, and even as we are doing it.
One of the ways I'd like to see us start using AI here is to take the chat and make all these quotes and put them out on our social media somehow, because the chat is
I thought AI stood for Arkansas inbreds.
Hey, I lived in Arkansas for 5 years, y'all.
Hey, that actually makes sense for us.
We can tell. Too damn funny. No, but good stuff, man. I love doing these podcasts, back and forth like this.
I met with Keith last week, and he was really upset that he wasn't given a podcast to listen to.
No, he wasn't.
No, he wasn't.
He doesn't listen to podcasts. If you sent me a podcast that was under 3 minutes, I might listen.
Podcast, Keith. That's something that's online that you get to anyway.
Oh.
Let's go into it, guys. What are you learning? I mean, you got to be learning something out there.
The biggest thing that I'm focused on right now is overall business strategy. So I'm doing a ton of research and how to put the strategy and all the pieces of the company together, and learning to not silo all the people, but to get people doing what they fucking rock and roll at. So, and get them in their lanes and really in their zone of genius. And what I continue to find as I look at the company as a whole is, where are we going? What are we trying to accomplish? What's the best means to get there? And allowing the team to be able to fit into the different parts has been really, really fun to learn. Stressful at times too, because we're all still learning some of our lanes, and we behind the scenes have had some fun, heated conversations. Trying to figure out all the moving parts. But what we continue to find is just the way that we do things is really disrupting the industry. And in doing that, I've, learned that we have to say things differently. Our strategy overall has to hit the marketplace different. And we're learning, where do we pick a fight? Like the idea that networking's for introductions, referrals, or from your clientele. That's going to pick a fight in the right arenas, right? Because the broke people are going to come at us. And I hope they do. So, but think about the overall business strategy is the biggest thing that I'm focused on right now. Keith?
Yeah, so mine's not that much different. It's something I've always worked on, and I continue to work on to this day, and that's communication. What I learned as a leader throughout all these years was I can't communicate the same to every single person that I'm interacting with. So I'm trying to figure out how to take my journey and put it into bite-sized chunks and regurgitate and teach people where it could benefit them.
Wait, don't regurgitate. Don't puke on us.
So that way I can effectively communicate back out to people where they actually can understand it and make sense, because not everybody learns the same. Not everybody listens the same. Not everybody does the same. So that's the hardest part about communication for me, is I'm always trying to educate myself further on that.
Kevin, what about you?
So I'm doing a lot right now with our metrics and our reporting and dashboards. So I'm learning all about data sets and how they work.
Hold on. I'm sorry. I fell asleep. Go ahead.
Yeah, I know. I'm not talking to you. So, one of the things I learned as I was building out our first little dashboard piece was that, there's historical and non-historical data sets. Historical data sets are cumulative. They will run the numbers again every day and then add them to the numbers from the days before. So every day I was going and looking at this dashboard I created. And, at one point I was like, what the hell is going on? This says that we've done $500,000 already this year in business. I'm like, cool, but I know that's not right. and it was because I had it set up as a historical data set. Non-historical pulls the numbers every day and overwrites what you had in the system. So I'm learning all that little nuances of how you pull in data, and if you have it configured a certain way, it will really screw up what you're trying to do and not actually give you the right information of what you're trying to find. So I'm doing that. I'm having lots of conversations with developers in Australia right now, figuring that out.
Now, what I think is cool is we're all working, on ourselves, but also on different aspects of the business as a whole. And it's fun to watch all the things that we're working on kind of come back together and be applied here. The volume of growth of the company here in a short amount of time, as we all continue to dial in on these different things, has been really cool to see. And, it's nice having Bob around, kind of that third party that, keeps us in line and really challenges our way of thinking. So
not only that, but watching people level up.
Yeah.
Right? Watching people go from an entry level, business owner or networking type person, and watching them level up their game. That's the most exciting part for me.
Yeah, for sure.
Outstanding, you guys. I tell you what, Kevin, I got to tell you, Carla was teaching our 4-year-old about sets this weekend and how groups and sets work. I'm learning about how to be more patient with people, and I'm not learning it very well. So moving right along, it's time for Donnie's World.
Oh,
sweet. So for our new listeners, we each week will play some sort of fun game where we can get one of our listeners involved. This week it's Donnie's World. For those of you that aren't aware, Donnie doesn't read the news. He doesn't go to news sites. He doesn't watch news shows. He doesn't get a newspaper. I don't think he knows what newspapers are. He doesn't go to news on Facebook. He doesn't do it at all. So
I mean, just to give them a better reference of that, literally my wife walked into the kitchen last week and said they found a debris field. And I said, of what? She goes, the submarine. I said, what submarine? She goes, have you not heard about the billionaire and his son and all this? And I'm like, not a clue. I had no clue what the hell she was talking about. So, but that'll give you guys the extent of how I removed that from my world.
Yeah, while we were doing the planning for this, when I was going over with Keith, we're like, he probably doesn't even know that this sub is missing. So we literally had that conversation. So what we are going to do, each of us is going to have a news story. One of ours, so Keith, Morris, and I each have a news story, and we're going to tell it. And one of them is true, and the other two are false. And it is up to Donnie and his guest help to figure out which one it is. And if you win, you get a Growth Mode T-shirt. So we need one of our listeners to say, I don't want to play.
I don't think we can pull them up that easy on here as we could.
Oh, that's right. They'd have to be in StreamYard to get pulled up here.
Oh, yeah, that might be a little bit. We're going to have to play with that piece of the game.
So,
now, I guess.
Yeah, we'll have to work on that. So they're going. So if you're watching, you're going to have to put in chat which one of these news stories you think is the fake
wait,
one.
Wait, he can't get help from like 30, 40 people. He
gets one. No, there's one person who gets to give him help.
They all can play along for today. We'll get it going.
All right.
We'll figure it out later.
Let's kick it off. I'm going to go first because, like Donnie, I actually don't listen to the news all that much. When I think I'm on Microsoft 365, the news thing that comes up, and I sometimes will go down a rabbit hole with a few stories. So I did know about the sub. So anyway, yesterday I found this story interesting, so I kind of had to go down and read about it. But Mike Tyson actually underwent the first of two successful vocal surgeries last weekend. The first one was to make the pitch of his voice deeper. And the second one is to help correct the lisp. It won't be done for another 2 or 3 weeks because he's finally sick and tired of people making fun of the way he talks.
Shit. All right. So Mike Tyson freaking doesn't sound like I can't do impressions. Wish I could.
Like
Tweety Bird.
Like a baby.
Nice. So first one, Mike Tyson. All right.
All right. You ready? Here we go. This past weekend, Donnie, in Russia, there was a coup attempt where they had 25,000 troops march on Moscow to try and overthrow Putin. And I think it's still going on. In fact, I know it is. It's still going on. There's some bombs going off and some ammunition flying back and forth. But it looks like somebody's trying to take over Russia.
Interesting. Got it.
And my news headline from the weekend: Bus 666 no longer going to hell. Poland after protests from Christian conservatives in the country.
Huh? I don't even understand that one.
Bus line number 666 is no longer traveling to hell, Poland, after protests from Christian
a tourist bus line called Bus 666 going to hell.
Going straight to hell. Got it. Yeah. Got it. Got it.
Hell is that bad place, Donnie? It's I understand you don't like religion.
I don't know. I think all my buddies are going to be there, so I think that's where I want to hang the fuck out. So, all right. So Mike Tyson, Russia, and a bus going to hell. What do
Which
you guys
is probably Donnie's
think?
favorite subject, by the way, is the bus going to hell.
I mean, I figure we're carpooling, so if you guys want to tag along, the song's not Highway to Hell, it's Carpool to Hell. So, but in chat, wherever you're watching, which news story is the one that's not true? Is it Mike Tyson? Is it Putin? Is it the 666 bus going to freaking straight to hell? So Jack, StreamYard is what we're streaming live on right now. There they come. Are all popping up on LinkedIn. That was going to be my guess anyways. Mike Tyson is the lie. That was my guess.
There's one that's true. There's two lies.
There's one true and two lies.
Oh, one true and two lies. Oh, shit. We didn't.
You guys got to pick which one is actually true.
Oh, so Tyson's not true. I'll go with that one. So we need to figure out which one is true. Kevin fumbled over telling his story. I feel like Russia, though, would be a bigger kick up. I know there's some shit going on in France. Well, if you think you know, put it out there.
You also might want to take into account the bullshit accountability of who can tell a story.
Right.
Just saying before everybody fucks this one up.
Yep. So I'm going to go with Kevin is telling a lie because of how much he stumbled over the story. So, do you guys, all lies are related to the devil? Russia's story is true. So, yep, my guess is Kevin was telling a lie because he fumbled over telling it.
As of June 24th in Warsaw, Poland, there will be no more going to hell on bus 666. The bus to the town of hell on Poland's Baltic coast has long been popular with tourists, but some Christian conservatives have protested the number signifying the devil on a bus leading to a place that sounds like the word hell in English.
So I've got conflicting information coming from the users. Some say there's Russian no fighting. Some say the Russia story is true.
So here's the thing with Russia. There was Wagner Group did take over 2 towns in Russia on Friday night. They did start marching to Russia or to Moscow, but yesterday afternoon, Putin and the Wagner Group came to an agreement, and all the Wagner fighters left. So there's no bombs going off. There's no artillery.
So that was a lie that there was still things going on.
Yep.
It's a little fucking details.
And Mike Tyson never underwent anesthesia. So you can all rest easy now.
He's still going to be around.
I was a little bit nervous and more started reading his story. I'm like, crap, do I need to come up with a lie now all of a sudden?
Yep, that's what I thought.
Boivin is in exile in Belarus right now. So
no.
There
you go.
He would have marched into Moscow though.
The Mike Tyson was just too unbelievable. The other two I was a little worried about because it's always that intimate details that freaking get you. And I'm surprised Keith did Mike Tyson because I know he can lie better than that. So, this is awesome. So Mike Tyson took over Russia.
There you go.
And that's the news from Success Champions this morning. Mike Tyson has taken over Russia.
Too damn funny.
And then Dennis Rodman's going to be in charge of North Korea. So we got some pretty famous guys running some big countries now.
With their hands on the nuclear weapons. Oh.
It might be safer than never mind. Not going.
So I've got announcements coming up, but I'm curious for you guys this week. Any big things on the plan, on the agenda? I know Keith, you're fixing to hit the road for a while. What about you guys? Anything cool happening this week?
I'm getting my stitches out on Wednesday.
That was quick.
Yeah.
Nice.
As long as he doesn't fall and split them open prior to that.
Yeah.
So
if you're curious, Morris thinks golf is a full contact sport.
Oh, it is.
He calls it golf key.
So if you're ever out on the golf course with Morris, wear a helmet.
Because I am.
Yeah.
And don't ask him what the ball washer is for.
This week, I've got a bunch of podcast interviews coming up. I've got 2 or 3 lives. I'll be live this afternoon on a couple of platforms being interviewed on the show. And I got a couple of really, really cool conversations. We're recording some cool episodes for Growth Mode this week, which will be a lot of fun.
We're recording 4 episodes this week.
Knew it was going to be a busy week.
Wow.
So
that's cool.
We're trying to stack them up ahead so we can, vacations, travel, with the Battle Summit coming up in August that Kevin and I will both be speaking at, with Zach Knight's event, with the Badass Business Summit coming up. That trip to freaking Atlanta is going to be a wicked one because I'm going to fly to Atlanta Wednesday night. I've got to leave at the red eye Friday night or Saturday morning to get back to Lubbock to watch the first Boivin ever graduate college.
Nice.
So my oldest niece in 3 years has got 3 degrees and graduating nursing school all at the same time.
Wow.
While working almost a full-time job in a hospital.
So Lubbock has been put on notice that the first Boivin ever to cross a college stage, the town might get lit up a little bit.
It's going to be insane. So But so I told Zach that I'll be at the Battle Summit for him. I'll stay there through the VIP stuff, and then I am taking the hell off. So Kevin will be there representing the team throughout the rest of the event and the rest of the weekend. So
hopefully he's putting you on the schedule on Friday.
We already talked about it. We're doing a schedule, and we're going to also live stream and do some additional things for the Success Champions as well as part of the thing. So, but this week, coming up in training. So if you're a part of Success Champions and one of the peer group, this Thursday's training is the live Q&A one. So Kevin and I will be coming in teaching a topic. You'll get a chance to come in as a member of Success Champions, ask us a question, tell us about who your company is, and be able to get some cool exposure for your business. So this is always one of the biggest attended events we have, when we get to do the live Q&A. So if you want to get some cool exposure, come Thursday to do that with Kevin and I. We record it, we put it out on the podcast. We have the Badass Business Summit coming up September 20th through the 23rd here in Fort Worth, Texas. This is an absolute game-changing summit. The networking is off the charts, and literally the coolest thing that I love about it, besides the networking, is all the speakers stay the entire time. They are also participants, from Jared Morgan, who did a $500 million exit a couple years ago, to Michael Haynes flying over from Australia, Jerry McNamara, freaking, Greg Birch, Melanie French, all these phenomenal people. Not only will they be there speaking on stage, you'll be able to interact one-on-one with them in the room. We've only got, I think, 6 VIP tickets left for that. So, if you want a VIP and you want a chance of actually getting on stage at the summit, go get your VIP tickets to get that opportunity. On July 6th, Kevin is teaching Rethinking How You Communicate inside of Success Champions. July 13th, Hannah Chapman is teaching Rethinking Finance. On the 20th, I'm teaching Rethinking What You're Building. On the 27th, Monica Tuck is Rethinking Your Brand. So freaking a whole month geared towards rethinking your business and making sure that everything is heading in the right direction.
You didn't talk about how great the one was last week, though, Donnie.
So last week was our smallest attended training we've ever had.
But you know what's funny? There was 3 people there from Arkansas. What was that about?
And they were all married and brothers and sisters.
With 4 people from Arkansas in one room, you had a full set of teeth. That's pretty awesome.
All in the same family. I love Arkansas. Let's get this straight before all the comments start coming in. I love Arkansas. It's my best clients in Arkansas. It's a good place.
All the hate mail can go to Morris at successchampionnetworking.com, by the way.
Right. So, but as you guys go around this week, make sure you're doing your virtual coffees. Make sure you're opening doors for people. Make sure that you are giving back to the people who are coming up behind you. I think one of the greatest things we can do in this moment of time is teach the things you're learning, out there, whether you're doing it on social, whether you're doing it one-on-one with other people, but invest in people who are trying to invest in themselves. And, it's a lot of what we do with Success Champions as a whole. Any last thoughts or words from you guys?
Hey, I'll put a quick challenge out there, everybody. So leaving tomorrow for Daytona Beach, be in Daytona Beach for 2 days, over to Clearwater for 2 days, or for 1 day, and then back home. So we're taking Highway 20 and Highway 10 from me and my older brother. If anybody is along that route and wants to actually get a live coffee, hit me up. Send me a message and let me know if we're going to connect somewhere along that route. I'm more than happy to connect with you guys.
How cool is that?
You're right, Jack. It is pronounced Arkansas.
It's not your Kansas, it's Arkansas.
Arkansas, that's right.
I'd rather call it Arkansas than R. Kelly. So there's that.
That's the truth. That's for sure. Hey, Donnie, have you figured out what you're going to talk about at the Badass Business Summit? What's your topic going to be?
So I'm actually speaking like 4 times at the summit. I'll be kicking off every day as we go. For the VIPs, we're going to get a half day at the beginning of the summit, and that is 100% the entire system and process of actually how do you build the business freedom, and walking through the 10 different strategies. So when I teach this is part of the Build Business Freedom workshop, I'll go through a handful of the strategies at the summit. Since we're going to spend 4 hours together, we're going to go through all 10 steps of that strategies for the VIPs. Then we're going to be doing the evolution of your business. We're going to talk about how you actually evolve your business with all the attendees, and how do you not only think bigger, but how you actually go bigger. With all that, we'll finish the whole thing off with capitalizing on the entire entrepreneur journey, and how your business works on you more than you will ever work on your business. I can tell anybody who will listen, man, that the greatest thing you can do to meet the dude in the mirror is to literally build a business, because when you build a business, you're going to figure out what the hell you're made of, because it's all on you. And even when you bring on staff and people, it's still all on you. And you're going to find out if you got it or you don't, because any of us that may find some level of success, we were all too dumb to throw in the towel when logic says you should have quit. We kept moving forward and persevering. So the whole summit is gathered around that idea of, what are you really building? Right? Are you building for the lifestyle you want, or are you building to create something that you didn't want to be a part of in the first place? A lot of us are corporate escapees. We left that corporate gig because we did not want to live that lifestyle. So now we're going to teach, all right, you made the leap. Now what the fuck do I do? And that's
so
what
Donnie's going to be teaching how to build things, and I'm going to teach everyone how to break it.
This is true, because Kevin's going to be teaching literally how to break everything in your business to actually grow the damn thing. So
excellent. Well, I got to tell you guys, I bellied up and made an investment in a VIP ticket last year. It was the best investment I made in my business, and I got my VIP ticket right off the bat. How many more are left, Donnie?
6 VIPs are left.
6?
6.
Yep.
6 VIPs are left. Y'all, if you hadn't got your VIP ticket yet, look, I'm telling you, go get it. It will be worth every penny you invest in you and your business, because that's what we're talking about here. It's not an expense. This is an investment in you. And no, I do not get 1 penny worth of commission out of this thing at all, but it's something we should talk about, Donnie.
Well, hey, listen, Morris, you probably should let everybody know that you did get an autographed 8x10 picture of myself for making that statement. So you did get some sort of compensation.
It's on the wall right over there in that big yeah.
So Morris, we will work on getting you something of actual value in the future.
Oh Lord. Hey, great show, you guys. Thank you.
It's like the British having the picture of a king on their wall. It's, there's no value to it whatsoever.
Oh, I love it. Guys, we had a great show today. Donnie, anything else before we wrap it up?
Nah, let's take us out.
All right, man. You guys have a great week. Go out there and do your virtual coffees, meet somebody, and my Lord, there's got to be a zillion people on I-10 and I-20. You got to stop Keith and get to see him and meet him in person if you haven't. That's the best challenge, the best opportunity I've heard of in a long time. Y'all have a great week. Enjoy. We'll see you again right here next Monday. Bring a friend. Talk to you later. Growth Mode Live. I got to learn how to say that now. Y'all have a great week.